Hello Sagittarius, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there is anything you need me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask that you connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we begin with a Prince of Cups. Interesting. I like the Prince of Cups. To me, it represents someone who is really striving to live authentically, right? I really do like that card. Let's put this into some context, though. Okay. I think that you're striving to kind of make the inner world and the outer world a little bit more harmonious, right? We're trying to match things up a little bit. And it's not easy. It is a struggle. It's a struggle to do that. Ooh, a lot of court cards here. We might have to reframe this a little bit because I think there's a larger group of people. Friends, family, could be workplace things. Nice major arcana energy here. Yeah, it feels like it might be a bit of a work thing going on, or something with the physical world, right? Your physical tasks and goals and accomplishments. And when I say work, I don't always mean employment. Okay, I want to make sure that's clear. Maybe you don't have a job. Maybe you don't want a job. Maybe you're retired. When I say work, I mean what you do every day, right? What your focus is, what you are working on. Okay, not necessarily employment. That's just kind of one part of it. So anyway, let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card, one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot, and we're going to put it right here. We'll put Francine right there on top of it. We're not going to look at that card until the end, okay? And hopefully it will tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we need. But if at any point during the reading you get an idea or a sense or a feeling of what that card is, go ahead and put your prediction in the comments, okay? I want to see if we can collectively raise our vibrations, tap into spirit, tap into source, and start discerning this mystery card together as kind of a group exercise, okay? So let's get back into this. Major, we have our Trinity of Major Arcana. I love that. I love when we have threes. I love everything in threes, really. We have some fire, and we've got some air, right? Everything else is court cards. Now, as far as court cards go, we've got fire, water, and of course we have the air, and we have two earth court cards, the Knight and the Princess. So, yeah, I kind of feel like there is a struggle between you and a larger kind of group of people. I almost feel like there are, how do I frame this now? Because I don't want to say that the people around you are trying to prevent you from succeeding, right? That sounds a little bit too paranoid. There could be a little bit of that going on, though. Okay, and it may be more unconsciously. It may be that through our relationships, and maybe this is not about specific people. Okay, it could be that our environment, what we are surrounding ourselves with, who we are surrounding ourselves with, is kind of limiting our growth. Okay, there is a need for us to make a definite decision regarding a group of people that perhaps we kind of feel like we're the underdog in some situation. Okay, we've got the Five of Swords here. So there's definitely there's definitely a challenge involving this group. Could be family, could be friends. I kind of feel that it's coworkers in a way, right? And I feel like we really have to make a decision. Maybe this is us heading for the exit, honestly. Okay. We can take these court cards individually, and we can look at them as projections of your own consciousness, projections of your own personality. Okay. But I don't want that, as we do explore this kind of projection, I don't want you to forget that the interpretation of this being a group and you still applies. Okay, the court cards all together, my cat's here to confirm. The court cards all together as a group kind of symbolize a group, right? But individually, they also symbolize projections of your personal energy. Okay, so when we start with the Prince of Cups, this is really you just trying to live your truth, trying to be yourself, trying to live authentically. Let's see if the cat wants to come over here. She might. She's kind of slinking around behind everything. You're trying to live your own truth. You're trying to be yourself, right? Because this is water, but there's air in there. Okay, it's air of water. It's the Prince of Cups. Someone who is struggling to live authentically. But what we end up finding is that water energy on the surface, that we have to just kind of reflect back to the environment what we're getting. And it's a defense mechanism, I think, that we all have, where we're in an environment, and instead of just letting our truth come right out, our sun that's within us, right? We got to get to that sun card. Instead of just letting our own light shine, we feel like we have to almost morph or adapt or conform, right, to what the environment is. Because what does that surface level water energy do, that water on the outside? It just kind of reflects back to the environment what it is, so it's just we kind of blend in, right? So this card makes us very, very adaptable, but adaptable to things that we really wish we didn't have to adapt to, or situations, or environments, or groups of people, or, whatever. We can expand all the way out. So I feel like what your goal is really to just be yourself, to express yourself in your way, and not have to hide your light inside. Here's the sun card down beneath everything. This is you. This is your radiant self, kind of concealed by all of this water energy that we see with the Prince of Cups. And I don't know what the situation is, but with the Five of Swords here, I feel like it's not a situation where you really feel comfortable being yourself or expressing yourself in your personality, in the things you say, in your interests, in your opinions, and all sorts of things. I feel it's kind of an oppressive group. It's a situation that maybe makes you feel like kind of less than, right? But we need to turn this around. And because that's a Five of Swords, we're going to do the language of flowers. We're going to do an affirmation card. Okay, I think the Five of Swords especially needs an affirmation. That seems about right. The white carnation, devotion. Be true and pure in thought and deed. Well, that is basically what we're trying to do with the Prince of Cups. Maybe it's thought and feeling, right? And we have our deed up here in the mechanical world, the material world with these pentacle cards. But devotion, be true and pure in thought and deed, which says be yourself, be devoted to your star, be devoted to who you really are, your true nature. Don't let these people dim your light at all, okay? We have to be devoted, and we are devoted to this sun card. This is our true radiant self, right? This is conscious and unconscious, right? This is everything. Nothing is hidden from this solar consciousness. It is pure consciousness itself, where there is no difference between conscious and unconscious. That boundary doesn't exist. It's all you. It's the totality of you as a star. Okay? And this is your warmth. This is your radiance. This is your creativity, your generosity. This is who you really are, right? This is your very charming self. And it's within you, right? It's underneath everything else. It's being concealed a little bit. And maybe this is a situation where it's appropriate to kind of conceal who you really are because of the environment that we're in, right? It's not always a bad thing to adapt, to kind of blend in, to be a little stealthy, and to keep our true self hidden. And I'm not trying to imply that's a bad thing or a negative thing. But I feel like it's not how you want to live. So either we need to change this situation or we need to get out of that situation, okay? Now, looking at these other court cards, we'll go through them rather quickly. Here's the Knight of Wands. I feel like this is a situation that you entered in quite quickly. Before we really had a lot of time to reflect on what we were getting ourselves into. I feel like it's just kind of like suddenly we found ourselves here and we don't even know how we got here. It all happened so fast, To get out of this situation, we need clarity of thought. So first we have to stop the self-doubt, right? The defeat here, the Five of Swords really is we're convincing ourselves that we need to keep our star, our spirit, our soul kind of hidden and concealed. But what we need to be doing is not concealing it. Find a situation, find a way for you to express your true self, because that is you, right? There's no greater sin than to keep your Holy Spirit in. A wise man once said that. So we have to get that clarity. Here is the Prince of Swords. Now, we have the Prince of Cups, Prince of Swords. What is the similarity? It's the air energy inside. It's the truth. It's you speaking your truth, living your truth, communicating your truth, right? The air is in both of these, but in this one, the air gets blurred by all of that water on the outside. But in this one, it's clear. This is just the clear communication. Nothing is being obscured, right? This is the approach to clarity. And I think that this is really us thinking about and understanding and having this conversation with ourselves. What is important to us? What is it that we really want? What is the way that we want to live our lives? Okay? So we need to have this conversation. I think that's the first step. Now, what it is that you truly want, what are you trying to do? Well, let's look at the top here. We have a Knight of Pentacles and a Princess of Pentacles, or a Page of Pentacles, discs. The top of the hierarchy and the end of the hierarchy, right? The manifestation of it in the mechanical world. So you have Knight of Pentacles. You have a very clear vision of what you want in the physical, manifested, mechanical world. Right? You know what you're trying to do. You know what your goals are. And I think we can see the goal out into the distance. When you close your eyes, you can just see it clearly in front of you. You can almost touch it. So now we have to understand, we have to work our way backwards. We have to kind of reverse engineer it. What do I need to do right now to make this a reality? To turn this potential, this spiritual vision, to actual manifestation of that vision, right? Fire to earth in the mechanical realm. We know what we want. Well, we have to understand how to get from here to here. Okay. And that's really part of this process. And if this group of people, if this is not the venue for that, we need a change of venue. Let's go to the path of the serpent here. We start with the Two of Wands here. Two of Wands is dominion. This card, let me adjust these here. The Two of Wands is you about taking ownership of your life, making a decision, not letting anyone else kind of influence you. But this is you taking ownership, taking responsibility, and making the difficult decision. This is really standing up for ourselves, right? Two of Wands. If we have to battle, we have to battle, right? If we're going to make other people unhappy, so be it. It's not our intention. We don't want that. But we need to do what's right for ourselves. Okay? So I think that between this card and this card, we have a lot of thinking to do. And there's not a ton, well, there's nothing here but major arcana and the court cards here. Not a lot of swords. We have the swords here with the 5, and for that we need to understand our devotion. What are we being devoted to? What is the highest priority, the highest good for us? And we have to be willing to do what needs to be done to get that. Okay? So we have a decision that we have to make. We need the clarity of thought. We need to clear our heads, clear our minds, see our white carnation clearly. And then we need to make a decision based on that of how to act, what to do, right? I feel like we need a confirmation. I'm hoping that the mystery card will be that confirmation for us. I'm feeling the 2 here. I feel like this week you're going to get this confirmation about what is right for you, what decision you need to make. And I see what we're kind of looking at here is the Eon, judgment, rebirth, reawakening, baptism by fire. This is us, I think, understanding, because look, we got the Knight of Wands here. This is how everything began. It began with fire. It began with just something that we just kind of dove into. So this is a necessary phase of your life. Even if you're really feeling that this is not good for your soul, right? It is. It is. Baptism by fire. This is a necessary struggle for you. This card's also about doorways. This is also saying that maybe this situation is really just a passageway from the old you to the new you. Maybe this is what you have to go through to get to the next phase of your life, to really level up, right? To get to your future, this is the kind of gauntlet that you have to fight your way through, okay? And because this is a doorway, and it's also in the environment, so I think that what you're going through right now is you struggling to squeeze through this doorway. Because it's a doorway, we're going to do a divine doorway affirmation card. I gotta close my eyes when I do these because I don't want to be biased by the images on the back of these cards, because they're so the images are so beautiful in these cards. That one. Bless the space. Your sacred space holds the soul to bear. Palo Santo or sage will clear the air. Interesting about clearing the air. Interesting about the sacred space, right? Because we have this idea of devotion. We have this idea that you are keeping sacred your true self while we go through this process. And maybe this is a process really of safeguarding. We're kind of, what do they call it when you're chambering your embers or something, when you're like traveling out in the bush, out in the wilderness, and you want to take your fire with you? What do they call that? I think it's chambering your coals or chambering your embers. It kind of feels like that's what we're doing, right? We're keeping our true self, our white carnation, right? What we're really devoted to. We're keeping this safe as we go through this difficult transition. I feel like this is that gauntlet. This is that kind of long hallway between one door and another. Yeah. So I think that we have to understand that this is an initiation. This is a sacred process. Even if it feels like, well, it's just me with some kind of, crappy coworkers or whatever. It may seem kind of silly, like how can this be a sacred initiation when it's just me having problems with my siblings, or it's just me feeling out of place at work or something. Well, that's where it takes place, right? It's in our daily lives. That's where these sacred processes and initiations happen. The passageways of life, the initiations of life happen in life, So I think this is really a doorway to a new level for you of consciousness, of maturity, of progress, of success. We've got the Wheel of Fortune coming as the very next card. Right through this doorway is the Wheel of Fortune. It's kind of like you get through this part of the game, you get to spin the wheel to pick your prize, So I like this, but I wonder why it's in this position. This is the position of the obstacle. This is the position of what we don't want. Why don't we want that? Maybe we're rejecting this card a little bit because this is the card of cosmic time. This is Spirit's wristwatch. Okay? So we may be rejecting this because we just think like, it's not a good time for me to be struggling with this. I don't need this to happen right now. I've got enough going on in my life. This is some unnecessary BS. Well, it's not up to us to understand divine timing, right? The Wheel of Fortune doesn't depend on our approval or even our understanding. So this card's kind of saying, look, this is the way things are supposed to be. You've got to figure out how to solve the puzzle, how to get out of this situation, how to get through this doorway and get your prize. This is the idea that the universe is perfect and harmonious, even if what we're witnessing right now in this moment from our very limited perspective is chaos and destruction and disaster. We can't see the infinite picture here. Okay? Globally, cosmically speaking, but also locally in our own lives. I may see this as being just an unwinnable situation right now, but maybe if I step back and get a different perspective, I can see more of the picture. Maybe I can't see the whole thing, but I could at least see kind of now and what's coming after and maybe a couple blocks ahead. There's limited visibility, but if we can get a different perspective, we can maybe see a little bit further. Okay. And I think that's pretty much where we're at right now. And I think we're looking for a confirmation. I think this week that confirmation's coming. I really do. I think the timing is here. I think that it is. You're going to find that this Wheel of Fortune is here for a reason. We may not want it because of this position, but this is what we need. We need to understand that timing is very important. And maybe if we are looking at this exit, maybe we need to consider when is the right time to do this. Right? We rushed into something probably without thinking too much. Let's not rush out the same way. Let's think about it. Let's understand that the timing of our exit is very important right now. The way we do it and when we do it, because we want to maximize the potential gains. We want to maximize the benefits. We don't want to burn bridges if we don't need to, right? We want to do this in such a way that we set ourselves up for the very best possible outcome. Okay? So I think give it a week. Look for the confirmation. Look for the understanding, the clarity, the divine timing. You'll see your moment. And then you have to seize the moment. Right? When you see that little window of opportunity where everything is just perfectly in place, and the Spirit's saying, this is the time. It's like in the Matrix, when Neo's on the phone with with Morpheus, and he says, okay, in 3 seconds you got to run out of your office, make a right, stay low, and just keep going. Well, if he hesitates, waits 4 or 5 seconds, he's done, he's finished. If he goes too early, if he's too impulsive, he's finished. Same kind of thing. Because what we are looking for is the maximum potential outcome. Right? Because we have a vision of what we want and how we see our life unfolding, and we want to get as close to that ideal as possible. So look for confirmation in the next week or so. Okay? I think it's going to be a very powerful confirmation. These two together, I think, are a very powerful confirmation. Okay, let's look at the mystery card, though. Let's see what this is going to offer us. Now, you can pause the video if you want, but try to connect with these cards. Let's see if we can discern this mystery card together. Let's figure out what this is. I'm going to have a sip of my lemon water here. I love lemon water. Okay. Gosh, it's tough because there's really just majors and the court cards, right? There's not a lot of the small cards here, except for the 2 and the 5. I feel like we need some kind of water here somewhere. We need something that says at the end, through this struggle, you're at least going to get a drink of water and a hot meal, you know? So I'm saying water energy here. It's not water. It's even better. It's the entire world. It is the whole world. It is kind of freedom. It is saying that there is going to be a solution here. That things are going to work out for the absolute very best. And this card really could be indicating, well, first I want to point out that we have the star, we have the sun, right? We have you, and we have the infinite universe, right? It's you in the world. This is really a cosmic kind of thing, a cosmic initiation. I feel like there's going to be a resolution to this. I feel as if you're walking out of this, through this doorway into freedom. Okay, for one thing, freedom to be yourself, to live how you want to live, to pursue your interests and your goals. I think this is a necessary kind of gauntlet, but it's going to have very good results. I think that this card is kind of, it is that confirmation that says you're going to be manifesting your own kind of personal corner of the universe. Right? You are building your world. This feels like a very, very deep spiritual initiation, but it also feels like a very practical expansion of your kind of material world spiritual vision, right? What you see for yourself on this physical plane. What kind of goals you have. Okay. This is another card about timing, though, too. Right? The world, the universe card. Because this is the whole infinite picture that we can't see. So we do have to trust in the timing a little bit. We have to trust that we will be able to see the sign that says, go now. But we need the clarity first. We need all of this energy, really, in order to see as much of the picture as we can. And look for that confirmation so that you know, just like Neo in the Matrix, you know when to, count to 3, run out of your office, make a right, go all the way down the hall, stay low. Something like that, So look for a confirmation in a week or so. We're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, click on the link in the corner. New readings for Sagittarius every Wednesday and Sunday at 6 a.m. Chicago time. Sagittarius, I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you, and we're all in this together.